Hi and welcome to this Blueprint Markets video update with me, John Kibler, Head Currency Analyst. In this video, we're going to go through the Forex market outlook. We're going to go through a few charts of interest. Now, looking at the charts at the moment, there's not too much out there that really interests me. The one thing that I do quite like the idea of is looking for those dollar buying opportunities still. Strength and weakness chart showing us this week that it's gained some significant strength. Quite like it as well against the euro. Euro's been losing some value. And quite like it against the yen. So let's dive straight in. Here we have euro US dollar, and looking at this sort of 4-hour time frame, we can see at the moment that price has been trending to the downside, although we've had this now retracement move coming into effect. And I still like the opportunity of getting short on euro US dollar. So I've pointed out a few key levels to watch. Now, first things first, if we're going to the daily time frame, price has broken through trend, and we spoke about this a while ago of this sort of channel up here and the market breaking to the downside and forming new lows, which price has done. However, what actually happens when price is in these trending moments? We have areas where the market pulls back, continues, and things like that. So we have the impulse and retracement phases. And at the moment, I think we are definitely in that retracement phase now. We thought the trend would continue from this point last week. Didn't quite do that. It did have a nice little short-term move to the downside, but then continued to push back up. So what I'm looking for is a continuation of the trend. Now, typically when we do see that happen, we would see a change in trend on the 4-hour time frame. So if I was to highlight the retracement moves just through there, jump down into a 4-hour time frame, just zoom out a little bit. Let's just take that off and just try and get in as much information as we can on that. So the retracement moves were here on the daily time frame and here. And you can see that typically in that moment, the market will change cycle. Okay, it then remains forming lower lows and lower highs until we break out and form a new higher high. That's when the impulse continues to the upside in line with the daily trend. Market then again breaks to the downside, forms a nice little lower high. Doesn't quite make the lower lows too much through here. However, only because it's a retracement phase, and then the market again impulses to the upside. I'm looking for that same effect to happen over here. So what I'm looking at is that this was the impulse move on the daily time frame through there, market making lower lows and lower highs. We're now in the retracement phase. So what I'm looking for is, if the market is going to continue in this retracement phase, is it going to come to a point of resistance, maybe this 122.18, where the market recently found support and resistance, to then look for the market to come up in there and change cycle again. If you get a change in cycle, that is key in order to looking for further short opportunities. If the market is going to continue to make higher highs, then this daily impulse is not ready to move. And this is a really nice way of just looking at the markets in terms of trend within a trend. And you can see that impulse moving there, market making lower lows and lower highs. So I'm looking for the same thing to happen again. If it happens at 122.18, great. It may still happen at 121.58. We may still get a lower low, rejection, and a continuation at that point. If we do get that, we can look for some shorts back down into this low. But overall, in the longest term scheme of things, I think price is going to fall towards this sort of 118 area. So I'm looking for still those short opportunities. Kiwi dollar on the flip side is looking quite nice still. We do have a potential for a lower high coming in here on the daily time frame. Looking for that downside to continue here. Again, going into the 4-hour time frame, you can see that when we get an impulse move out of the market, we get higher highs and higher lows. Okay, when we get the retracement phase, which then turns into an impulse because the daily takes out these lows in here, now we're looking for the retracement to turn into trend again. So at the moment, we form this like double top in here. where we could start seeing a little bit of downside. And there's a couple of key levels that I quite like again on Kiwi, and the first one is where we're at the minute, because obviously the market has found some recent support and resistance in there. We've broken back below it. Can we hold below it is going to be key. Next area I like 7129. So if price can come through that, break through it and continue down, that would be a good level to watch as well. Other level that I do like is still up at this 7237, because if price has found resistance, support, resistance, it could find resistance again if it was to get to that area for some further downside. So Kiwi looking good as well. Finally, dollar yen. Like this market initially, just because if we look at the daily time frame, price has formed a new higher high. Again, looking at sort of impulses and retracements. If I was to go to the 4-hour time frame, zoom out a little bit, look at how the market reacts in these cycle moves. So we have the impulse, markets making lower lows and lower highs. Look at the retracement phase, markets making higher highs. Okay, now we're coming down, impulse phase, making lower highs, lower lows. Market has now changed trend because it's taken out these highs just through here. So I'm looking for a continuation to the upside. Price on the 4 hours really struggling to make any considerable lower lows. We had a bit of a false breakout in here. So key levels to watch from me are 103.53. If price can get to there, I'll be happy to look for longs. Alternatively, 103.83 resistance currently. If price can break through and retest that, that would also be a good level to keep your eye on. So only 3 charts really interesting me at the moment. Obviously, we'll see how the trend plays out in the week, but keep an eye on these 3 charts. Thanks for watching. I'll speak to you soon.